Jaya Jaya Śrī Caitanya Jaya Nityananda. Jaya Rita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jaya Rita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jaya Jaya Śrī Caitanya Jaya Nityananda. Jaya Jaya Śrī Caitanya Jaya Nityananda. Jaya Rita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jaya Rita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. You can tell he's from the Harinam group. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Śrī Krishna Caitanya Prabhu Nityananda, Śrī Advaita Gadadhar Sivasadi, Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jaya Śrī Krishna Caitanya Prabhu Nityananda, Śrī Advaita Gadadhara Sivasadi, Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jaya Śrī Krishna Caitanya Prabhu Nityananda, Śrī Advaita Gadadhar Sivasadi, Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Srila Prabhupada. Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur Hari Bol. Guṇḍicā mārjana ki jai. Okay, before we start, two stories. First, Hari Bol. Now, when the movement first started, nobody sang Hari Bol. Can you imagine that? Nobody chanted Hari Bol. Then they came to Mayapur, and they heard all the Bengali devotees singing Hari Bol. And so they said to Srila Prabhupada, everybody in Mayapur, all the locals, they all chant Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. And Prabhupada says, let them chant Hari Bol. I will chant Hare Krishna and go back to Godhead. Could hear a cricket. Okay. So in other words, Hari Bol has taken on a whole new strength within our movement. Because we like it. It's almost like a war cry, right? It's like, Hari Bol, yeah! And of course here in Mayapur, every Bengali, am I right? Is there any Bengalis? Are you a Bengali, Rasamai? No, there's no Bengalis here, of course. Everybody loves it. They just love it. Now something about Śrī Krishna Caitanya Prabhu Nityananda, Śrī Advaita Gadadhara Sivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. One time Srila Prabhupada said that this mantra is actually more powerful than the Hare Krishna mantra. And the devotees were like stunned because it had just been introduced, and Prabhupada was explaining that by invoking the Panchatattva, we get more blessings than by even chanting Hare Krishna. So one very advanced sannyasi, very famous at the time, started chanting the Panchatattva mantra on his beads. And he would go around 108 times, Śrī Krishna Caitanya Prabhu Nityananda, Śrī Advaita Gadadhara Sivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda, Śrī Krishna Caitanya, and he was doing rounds of the Panchatattva mantra. And the devotees told Srila Prabhupada, and Prabhupada says, no, it's very powerful. We chant it before we chant Hare Krishna, but we chant Hare Krishna. Why do we chant Hare Krishna? Because Lord Chaitanya Mahāprabhu has told us, chant this Hare Krishna mantra. Otherwise, we could just chant Śrī Krishna Caitanya. But Lord Chaitanya himself said, chant Hare Krishna. Okay, those are two stories. So today is a very auspicious day, Guṇḍicā mārjana. And I guess that's why it's raining, because right now we are cleaning the dam. The rain is coming down, and of course, all the devotees who would be here assembled today are out doing Rath Yatras, especially Western devotees. We are in high demand this time of the year. I can't tell you how many Rath Yatras I have been invited to this year. Let me try. 25? 25. And now people are starting to get the gist. If you want Western devotees, you got to ask like 6 months ahead of time and get that place secured. Otherwise, Western devotees are like, there's one, get him. There's another one, get him. And I go up and I was asking, you guys are doing the Swarup Ganj? Right. And I was asking, I thought, on my last hope to get this other Rath Yatra, some devotees, because they're new. I asked you guys, and you guys said, no, we're going here. No, I'm going here. Of course, today, everybody has probably already left, and actually, right after class, I got to get out of here, too. So that's the beauty of Rath Yatra. Now, Rath Yatra is very famous, and it was started way before Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's time, way before. But Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has made it famous. Now, there's practically, I don't know, anywhere in the world that you go into a city and they don't have a Rath Yatra. Rath Yatras are everywhere, everywhere. And that's because of Srila Prabhupada and Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So Srila Prabhupada has made this Rath Yatra world famous, not just in Jagannath Puri, not just in Calcutta, but towns and cities that you've never heard of are having Rath Yatras. Okay, I have to do the shloka, don't I? Okay. Do we have a microphone? Yes, you do. Now, sometimes I speak in the temple room telling the pilgrims about Prabhupada's Bhagavad Gita and other assorted books. And when I speak there, I have a wonderful translator who makes everything I say make sense. Sometimes I just go, and he will say something in Bengali, and all the Bengalis are, oh yes, he is so wise. I don't even know what I'm saying, but somehow or other, Rakesh here translates it, and they're all like, yes, yes, we want these books because of what that Western devotee said. So Rakesh now, he will chant this shloka from the Chaitanya Caritamrita. And this is, I have to get my glasses to see. Antya 10, the shloka is 103. Okay, Rakesh, you're on.
Ei mata Mahaprabhu lañā nija-gaṇa guṇḍicā-gṛhera kailā kṣālana mārjana.
One line, then name the next.
Ei mata Mahaprabhu lañā nija-gaṇa guṇḍicā-gṛhera kailā kṣālana mārjana. Ei mata Mahaprabhu lañā nija-gaṇa
Ei mata Mahaprabhu lañā nija-gaṇa
guṇḍicā-gṛhera kailā kṣālana mārjana.
guṇḍicā-gṛhera kailā kṣālana mārjana. Ei mata Mahaprabhu lañā nija-gaṇa Were you born in Mayapur? You are. So you're a Mayapur Vasi. Yes, you are. If you were born here, the answer is yes. Okay. Is there anybody here whose first language is English? No. Just see. Well, you, okay. Well, you're actually Bengali, so that doesn't quite count. But just see. Here we are in Śrī Mayapur, the international headquarters. And I remember when I first came to Mayapur, almost everybody here was American. It was like you get to see devotees you hadn't seen for a while, and it was like a big social gathering. It was so nice seeing everybody. Now, I have to stand in the corner. Nobody says hi to me or anything, because I don't speak anybody's language, but this English thing. So I'm kind of like the outcast now. And people go, oh, you're American? Oh, we didn't know we had any of those here. So anyway. Okay, and anybody, any of you 200 women over here want to try the shloka? Hey Hey Mata Mahaprabhu Lala nija-gaṇa guṇḍicā-gṛhera kailā kṣālana mārjana. And I have to tell you, the Mataji who just chanted is one of the singers on our Harinam, the Mayapur Harinam family. That's why when you heard her voice, you were like, oh, she has a nice voice, because she does have a nice voice. She chants Hare Krishna outside with what we call the Harinam party, but between ourselves, we just say we're like Prabhupada's street dogs, because we're always out on the street. They never invite us in to play the harmonium and sing nicely in the temple, because, well, you know, we're street dogs, and we end up just start barking really loud. And that's what we do. But she has a good voice, doesn't she? For barking. Yeah, we're training you up how to bark louder. Okay, we'll do the word for word. Amata. In this way. Mahaprabhu. Śrī Caitanya Mahāprabhu. Lañā nija-gaṇa. Accompanied by his personal associates. Guṇḍicā-gṛhera of the Guṇḍicā temple. Kailā, performed. Kṣālana, washing. And mārjana, cleansing. So there is no purport to this particular shloka, but that's okay. Because the real important part of this shloka is guṇḍicā-mārjana. It's the cleansing of the Guṇḍicā temple. Now, normally when you think of cleaning the temple, who cleans the temple? The temple president, GBC, co-directors, sannyasis, ain't happening. Who cleans? It's the bhaktas, the new guys. Quick, get that mat, bring it over here, do this, do that. They're running around like little ants, and they do this every day. You never, ever see senior devotees cleaning the temple, do you? Now, when you first come to Krishna consciousness, back when I did, back in the day, like that must have been how long? I can't even remember. That's how long ago. 48 years ago, I came to Krishna consciousness. And somehow or other, now you know when you first come, what's your service? Prabhu, got something great for you to do. You can go clean the pots. And you're like, okay, this is spiritual life? Great. Okay, now you've advanced. Can you clean the bathrooms? Oh, really? I mean, I want to be a devotee. Yes, we're training you up right now how to be a devotee. You clean the pots. You clean the temple room floor. It's like cleaning your heart. Like, what? How is cleaning pots like cleaning my heart? But that's what it's about. But when I first came to the temple, I never got to clean anything. Not that I felt like, gee, I missed out on something. No, when I first came to the temple, they handed me a book bag. Immediately, they handed me a book bag. And that's how I got to clean my heart. I was out there approaching people that didn't want me to be approaching them. And that was very cleansing. I actually enjoyed it. I actually would smile even when they'd say no, because I knew that I was pleasing my spiritual master, following his orders, and by following his orders, I was cleansing my heart. So that marjanam, that cleansing, is very important for all of us. Now, back when Lord Chaitanya was living in Jagannath Puri, he wanted to cleanse his heart. No, not really. His heart was already cleansed. But he wanted to show others how to do it. So he led by example. He led from the front. He was the best cleaner. He requested water. And because they had so much respect for Lord Chaitanya, they brought the water. But they were, no, you shouldn't be doing this. Now, if we can think in our present tense, if we saw one of our leaders requesting buckets of water to clean the temple, you'd be like, no, Prabhu, you don't need to do that. We got the bhaktas for that. But Lord Chaitanya said, set the example that everyone should be endeavoring to clean their heart. So they supplied these buckets of water for Lord Chaitanya. But first, before the water, the brooms, sweeping all the dirt. Now, you know the temple was probably not that dirty, but it was dirty enough that in order to bring Jivanath there, it had to be cleansed. Now, Lord Chaitanya Mahāprabhu, he is in Vrindavan consciousness. He sees everything Vrindavan. Jivanath is Krishna, not Jaganath, Krishna. He sees the temple in Nilachala, Jaganath's temple, as either Dwarka or Kurukshetra. And he sees the Guṇḍicā temple as Vrindavan. So we're going to bring Krishna back to Vrindavan. Now the Guṇḍicā temple is about 3 kilometers away from the temple in Nilachala, the Jaganath temple. So this is quite a procession that happens. When they would do the procession, sometimes the cart would get stuck. I'm getting ahead of myself, but I love this story. I'm sorry, please let me just tell it. They're pulling the cart. Thousands and thousands and maybe millions. I wasn't there. I don't know. But the cart would stop. And they'd get the elephants to pull the cart. Of course, a couple big elephants. Definitely going to get the cart moving. Nothing. Not moving. And Lord Chaitanya would come over and put his head against the cart like this and just push it, and the cart would go. Everybody was so amazed. How did he do that? Lord Chaitanya Mahāprabhu, that's how he does it. So anyway, that's the wonderful pastime. But now we're back to the Guṇḍicā temple. Now, sweeping. So everyone would be sweeping. There was like 100 brooms, so everybody joined in with Lord Chaitanya. And Lord Chaitanya, he was the best sweeper. He had double the amount of dust that anybody else had put together. He was so into it. But he was also noticing his devotees, his disciples, his followers. Some of them, as you would expect, are thinking, I don't really want to clean the temple. I mean, I should be chanting or something, but not cleaning. That's not for me. That's kind of for the bhaktas. So he would chastise them. Hey, come on, pick it up. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, come on, pick it up. Let's get working. And Prabhupada comments that that is an example of how the guru treats his disciples. He encourages, doing a great job, keep going, way to go, that's fantastic. And he also chastises. Come on, where were you at Mangalartik? Mangalartik, whoa, that's a whole nother topic. Who here knows what Mangalartik is? And how do you know? Because you go? You do? He goes to Mangalartik. Now you know, back when I first joined 48 years ago, Mangalartik was, and here's the word, mandatory. What, you had to go? Yes, you had to go to Mangalartik. Now, you know, maybe I'll go. I went like, was that a month? No, it was 2 months ago. I can't remember now. But was that this year or was that last year? Anyway, that's how we treat Mangalartik. But I don't want to get into that. But I'm kind of like on this roll now. I'm having fun. You know, I haven't sat here for 3 years. 3 years. And I look around and I'm like, I don't remember any of you from 3 years ago. Well, it's easy to see who's here. I mean, if the camera swung around, you'd go, there's a lot of empty chairs here. A lot of empty chairs. We used to have mats and bolsters with cushions, and there'd be devotees packed in everywhere. And then that disease came, and then everybody stopped coming. Unfortunately, that's how it is. So anyway, Lord Chaitanya, he's cleaning. And they're cleaning. And the temple's so clean. They get all the dust outside. All the piles of dust outside. And Lord Chaitanya says, let's do it again. Because there are those fine granules you only get on the second cleaning. Now remember, as we hear this story, this is all a metaphor. Does everybody know what a metaphor is? Everyone? You all get it? Okay, so this story is a metaphor. It's all about cleaning our hearts. So the first sweep gets all the big dust. When you first come to the movement, the really bad stuff, that kind of stuff, the, other stuff that we did, that is cleansed away. That's easy. I give up this, I give up that, I don't do this, I do that. That's the easy part. It's the other part, that fine dust that covers our heart. That's the hard part. And that's why we have to practice this Krishna consciousness of hearing and chanting, to get rid of the fine dust. So Lord Chaitanya sweeps up all the fine dust. The second sweeping, now the temple is clean, now it's time to throw the buckets of water. So it's a whole process, right? It's a big process. I'm going to actually look at notes, because I never do that. It's kind of fun. Every time I do give a class, and I have started again, I always make notes, like most devotees do. And I don't think I've ever looked at my notes. Not that I don't look. I may look, but I tend to start driving at a fast speed, and next thing you know, I'm looking back. Well, that's where I wanted to go. Oh, I forgot to turn. So I kind of do that with class. It just, like a stream of thought comes in. And I'm always hoping, I hope that's Krishna directing me. I hope it's not just my mind is taking me somewhere else. That Krishna is saying, you should say this. You should say this. Now, I understand that there's not that many devotees here, which is fine. And then probably, I don't know, thousands are listening online. Okay. So I just wanted to tell you, now we got the temple clean. No problem. That's basically the real story of the Guṇḍicā temple. The Guṇḍicā mārjana, we've cleansed the temple. Lord Krishna gets to come and reside there. So that's what the metaphor is. In order to make our resting place in our heart for the Lord clean, we have to keep working on cleaning it. And the process, what is the process? Well, while we're trying to develop our bhakti, there are 3 S's which are very important. Does anybody understand what I just said and could answer the question of one of the S's? Sadhana. That's one. Anybody else? Starts with an S. Seva. That's number 2. And the third one? Singing, come on. Sadhu Sangha. Thank you. You guys are all awake. It's really impressive. So these 3 things are so very important. What's your seva? I like asking devotees when I see them, what's your seva? That's trouble. You have to have a seva. Be in the Dham, you have to do some seva. So if I ask you that question, you have to give me an answer. You have to have some seva. Sadhana. I mentioned the Mangalartik thing. Okay, answer this and answer it together on a 1, 2, 3, okay? Is Mangalartik mandatory or optional? Really? Mandatory. Is it just for devotees who attend Bhagavatam class, or is it for all devotees? Oh, you guys are so good. So in other words, tomorrow, well, I won't be here tomorrow to do the checkup. But if I was, would I see all of you at the mandatory Mangalartik? Uh-huh. Okay. You know that Krishna's in your heart, right? I may not be coming tomorrow, but Krishna knows. So if you said, yes, mandatory, you have to do it, don't you? Krishna's in your heart. He's judging. He's saying, it's all lip service. Nobody's following through. So sadhana is so very important. And it's not simply when we first join the temple. Sadhana is important all the time. It's the foundation of our whole Krishna conscious life. right? That's why Prabhupada gave us the 16 rounds. He could have made it 64 rounds, but he was so kind to us, he gave us 16 rounds. Now you all know how when Prabhupada first introduced japa and rounds, he told the devotees that you must chant 64 rounds. Now, could you imagine this? You're a hippie off the streets in New York City, and the Swami from India tells you you have to chant on your beads, 108 beads, 64 times. And they're all like, that's going to take like 10 hours or something. I've got a life, you know. I can't be chanting Hare Krishna for 10 hours. And that's basically what they told Srila Prabhupada. So Prabhupada said, okay, I understand. Different culture, different lifestyle. Simply chant 32 rounds. And again, they're like, wait a second, if it takes me 12 minutes to chant 12 times 32, that's like 6 hours. We can't do that. I got to take my dog for a walk. You know, I got to meet the friends at 11. We have a coffee and a smoke. I can't do all that stuff. So Prabhupada said, okay then, 16 rounds, and here comes the big one, minimum. 16 rounds, minimum. That's our sadhana, 16 rounds, minimum. Now I have seen devotees walking around campus from early in the morning, probably for them, till late at night, and they don't have a japa bag with them. And I'm always thinking, when do you chant your rounds? Because I can see you in the morning and you're just walking around. I can see you in the afternoon and you're just walking around. And I can see you and you're just walking around. Do we even know where your japa bead bag is? Wait, I think I hung it up by the door. I don't know. So it's very important that we carry our japa bag, because how are you going to chant if you don't have your beads? Doesn't that make sense? I think. Okay, and what was the last one? That sadhu sangha. Now here in Mayapur, we are very, very blessed, extremely blessed, because basically everybody in Mayapur is a devotee. So we can choose our association. We can choose who we want to talk to, who we want to be with. If your association is saying, hey, have you seen the new movie on Netflix? Maybe not the best association. If your association says, hey Prabhu, want to come to Harinam Sankirtan with me today? Oh, now there's good association. Anybody want to go to, no, just kidding. We'll let that one go. Because I know, let me count, who has been to Harinam? He has, she has. So that's 5 out of 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 20 people have been to Harinam. And you know this goes on like every day. A couple times a day even. But yet, whoever goes. And I've actually seen, I'm sorry to just have to bring this up, but you know, I do this Harinam because, well, I do it because I like it. I do it because it's fun. And isn't Krishna consciousness fun? Doesn't it put a smile on your face? If you're doing it right, yes. If you're walking around like, okay, maybe you don't like the material realm, you don't like living in there, and okay, I'll be a devotee, but you know, I really wish there was something better. You know, this chanting thing, and you know, getting up early, and oh man, it's just, you know, all right, I don't know. But what if you actually enjoy your Krishna consciousness? What if every time you chant, you're getting nectar? There's a taste, it's so ecstatic. What if that was your life? Wouldn't you want to do it more? That's a question. Yes. Thanks, Rakesh. I should hope so. And you can see that there are devotees who they actually enjoy that taste. You know, and you say, okay, well, didn't you used to do that? Like, you know, 45 years ago, didn't you used to do that? Now you've grown up and you have more advanced things to do. Just like we've grown up from chanting japa, and now we have more advanced things to do. Wait, that's not our philosophy. Our philosophy is we chant 16 rounds every day, every single day. Who chanted 16 rounds at least? I'm thinking now, the Acharya was Srila Prabhupada. Have we seen videos of him walking and chanting and doing Harinam and kirtans and jumping up and down when he's in his 70s? Has anybody ever seen this? This is the Acharya. He's setting the example. Follow it. Follow it. If you don't feel like paying your obeisances, Gargamuni Prabhu said that to Prabhupada. I don't feel like getting down on the ground like everybody else. Is that wrong? And Prabhupada said, yes, you should do it. And if you do it, then you'll want to do it. And that's exactly what happened. So if you chant on Harinam or just any old place, you're going to want to do it because it's going to bring you nectar. And that's what we want. And that nectar cleans the dust off your heart. The nectar washes it away. And that's what we want. We don't want a dirty heart. And I'm going to say pretty much, if you don't like chanting Hare Krishna, then maybe your heart is a little dirty. Because what's stopping you from the most enjoyable, wonderful thing you can possibly do in this lifetime? Wait. There's no other way, there's no other way, there's no other way? You may ask. Well, that's what they say. Harinam, Harinam, Harinam eva kevalam, kalo nasteva, 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 gatiranyata. No other way. And in case you didn't get it on the first no other way, we'll repeat it 3 times. There's no other way. There's no other way. There's no other way. You got it? Cool. Okay. So I wanted to talk something too about the Lord, the Lord coming to a temple, like Jivanath comes to guṇḍicā. There's a wonderful story about London Ishvari, the deities of Soho Street Temple. Now, Prabhupada was in London, and he wanted to have the opening of this Soho Street Temple, and he wanted deities. So he set a date, and he told the devotees, now get deities. This is, what year are we, 1968? And the devotees are like, how do I get deities? I have no clue. We don't even see deities. We don't know. Where do you go? I don't know. So they put it out into the Indian population of London. We need deities. And lo and behold, a man called up and said, I have Radha Krishna deities. Okay, so they went to see them. 2 devotees, Tamal Krishna and Sham Sundar, they went to see the deities. They go in, they meet the man, very nice man, and they say, okay, you have some deities? Because they didn't see them. They were under a cloth. So the man lifted the cloth up, and there was London Ishvari, beautiful deities. And the devotees are very excited. Wow, these are fantastic. They run out. They call Srila Prabhupada. They wake him up from his nap. And Prabhupada says, let me see immediately. So they go back because they have a funky little car that they're driving, of course, like devotees had. It's a bus with painted flowers on it and everything, and no seat in the front, that they put a chair and put rope on it, and Prabhupada sat on it. And Prabhupada comes to see London Ishvari. Now when Prabhupada comes in and greets the man, he starts talking to him. Where are you from? Oh, how long have you been in London? You have family? Let me meet your family. So the man starts introducing his family. Children, nephews, aunts, uncles, cousins, they're all in the house, one by one. And the devotees are thinking, what's Prabhupada doing? You know, we're trying to get these deities. He's been talking for like a half an hour with this guy, not about the deities. And so the guy is introducing, and Prabhupada says, oh, very nice. Oh, he looks like an intelligent young man. Oh, he's done well. What does he do? Oh, he's gone on. And then finally the man says to Prabhupada, do you want to see these deities or not? And Prabhupada says, oh, what a beautiful house you have. This is so very nice. You've been living here for a while? It's very nice. And what kind of, I didn't catch, what did you say you did for work? Oh, okay. And the man's now getting a little frustrated. He says, did you come to see the deities or what? And Prabhupada says, you have deities? And the man says, yes, that's why you came, isn't it? He says, oh yes, and we will have a look. So they go over, because now the man's frustrated, he's fired up. He wants to show Prabhupada the deities. So he lifts up the cover, and there's London Ishvari. Prabhupada goes, and sits down. No excitement on his face, no expression whatsoever. He just sits down. And now the man's like, well, what do you think? And Prabhupada goes, yes, they're very nice. He says, Tamal Krishna, go see if you can lift up Krishna. So Tamal goes over and he goes, yes, Srila Prabhupada, he's not that heavy. He says, Sham Sundar, see if you can lift up Radharani. So Shama Sundar goes up and goes, yeah, no, I can carry. He goes, okay, now we will go. And they walk out with the deities. And the man is like, wait, I mean, you know, I need to talk to you about, and Prabhupada just goes, gets in the car, sits down, and the whole family and the man come out, and they're banging on the windows of the van, going, but wait, we didn't discuss anything. And Prabhupada goes, thank you, and then they drive off. And they go 1 block down the street, and Prabhupada says, now show me the deities. And they lift the veil, and Prabhupada starts singing the Govindam prayers. And he says, Radha and Krishna have come to London. That's how Prabhupada works, his magic. Now, of course, if you're a relative of that man who you'd be like, hey, wait a minute now, he kind of just took them like this. But of course, we devotees are like, yeah, Prabhupada, way to play it. We got these really nice deities now that have been installed for like 50 years, and Prabhupada did his transcendental magic to get them. Now, Jivanath. So today's about Jivanath. What am I telling stories about London Ishwar? Today's about Jivanath. So one time Srila Prabhupada was invited to a book fair in Jagannath Puri. So the night before this book fair, Govinda Dasi. Now, do you know Govinda Dasi? You've heard of Govinda Dasi? Govinda Dasi still is and always will be a character. She's unique, very unique devotee. I don't want to say anything other than that, okay? I had some personal relationship with her. We did a little service for her when she was not well, and so I know her a bit. She's unique. She loves Srila Prabhupada, just loves Srila Prabhupada. And to me, that's the nicest compliment you can say about any devotee. He loves Prabhupada. So that's what I would say about Govinda Dasi. She loves Srila Prabhupada. So the night before this book fair, Govinda Dasi wants to go see Lord Jagannāth. And as you know, people of fair skin are not allowed in to see Lord Jagannāth. So she puts a big chadar over her head and gets a cane and walks in like bent over like a little old lady, thinking, I'll pull one over on him. I'm going to go see Jagannāth. Well, they notice. They grab the cane, they rip off the chadar, and they start hitting her with the cane, chasing her out. Beating her, she's running out. And she goes back to the place where Srila Prabhupada is and tells him, I tried to go see Lord Jagannāth, and that's what happened. They beat me. And Srila Prabhupada is very upset. He doesn't react nicely to it. So the next day, I wrote down, I'll just have to wing this one. The next day, at this book fair, this Brahmana comes up with his book and presents it to Srila Prabhupada. Prabhupada touches it to his head and says, I have not read this. Now there's a huge crowd of people around, all with their books, wanting to have it blessed by Srila Prabhupada. But Prabhupada then takes advantage of this situation. He says, this is Jagannāth, not Orissanath, not Purinath, Jagannāth. He is here for all his devotees, not just the ones you choose. So when devotees from all around the world come to see Jagannāth, you better let them in. Otherwise, Lord Jagannāth will get very mad and he will come live with us. Jai or something, Hari Bol, something. I mean, that's how you show you heard what I said. Prabhupada's telling them that Jagannath will leave Jagannath temple and come live with us unless you allow every devotee of Jagannath to have his darshan. So because of that, Srila Prabhupada never went to see Jagannath again. He said, if my devotees can't go, I will not go. So that's very sad on a lot of different accounts. And of course, it really is sad that Lord Jagannath, the Lord of the universe, is not able to be giving his darshan to all his devotees. Now, one time somebody said to Srila Prabhupada about Lord Jagannath, he said, how come Lord Jagannath looks so different? And Prabhupada said, different? You get that? He's saying, what do you mean by different? Because Prabhupada is seeing Krishna. So Jagannath is Krishna. What do you mean by different? Why does he look different? I'll tell you a story, and this is a personal one. That one didn't work so well, did it? I thought it did. When I first went to a temple, I went for Mangalartik. And I had never been to a temple. I've only associated with one devotee who was an old friend of mine who convinced me to look into this Krishna consciousness. And the devotee who greeted me for Mangalartik told me that I was about to see God. In Mangalartik, I'm going to see God. Now, coming from the West, God, prior to seeing Bhagavad Gita, God, the best I can do is some old guy sitting on a cloud wearing a white robe with a long white beard doing absolutely nothing, and that's God. And I always thought, man, I don't want that job. It's like boring. He's just sitting there all the time. So that, to a Westerner, is God. So when I was told, if I go to the temple, this Hare Krishna temple, I'm going to see God, I was like, this is a surrender. The blue guy with a flute standing on a chariot, but the philosophy works, so let's try it. We go, and the curtains opened, and there was Lord Jagannath, a large Lord Jagannath, Baladev and Subhadra. And I was thinking, whoa, this is God? I mean, the white guy on the cloud, okay, that's kind of weird, I don't like that. The blue guy with the flute, at least it's a blue guy, I mean, it's a guy, I can relate to that. But Lord Jagannath? I mean, the big eyes and no hands. It's like, this is God. This is the Lord of the universe. So it's a big surrender. So basically, coming to Krishna consciousness, we have to surrender. We have to surrender bad habits. We have to surrender subtle anarthas. There's so much that we have to give up. But like Prabhupada says, you can't just give up everything. You must replace it. Give yourself a good taste. Become attracted to chanting Hare Krishna. Prabhupada said that about his books. He asked the devotees, do you know why I wrote these books? And everybody was coming with the philosophy, and we need to learn the absolute truth, and this is why. And Prabhupada says, no, I wrote these books to convince you to chant Hare Krishna. Just chant Hare Krishna. Make that the goal of your day, is to chant nicely Hare Krishna. If we do that, then the heart becomes a very clean resting place for the Lord. Just like Mahaprabhu cleaning the guṇḍicā temple for Jagannath to stay there for 8 days. Krishna in our heart is there eternally with us. Let's make it a clean place. And we clean it by chanting Hare Krishna. Like this. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Thank you so much. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. All glories to cleaning our hearts. Haribo. Anybody? I'm okay with nobody saying anything because I have to go catch a plane in a few hours. Yeah? Good. No questions. Oh no.
Thank you for the class. I have a question about 4 rounds. You said about 64 rounds, 32 and 16, that this is minimal. But I have heard that for the most busy devotees, Prabhupada said that you should chant at least 4 rounds. Did you hear anything about that?
No. I don't know where he came up with that one. I never heard that 4-round thing, no. I mean, devotees may say that to aspiring candidates for joining Krishna consciousness. Try to chant 4 rounds. But Prabhupada never said that. That's your question. Prabhupada never said that. I've said that. I've said, oh yeah, I've said that to people. I say, just chant 1 round, 1 bead, but chant and do it every day. I've said that to new bhaktas or new people just finding out about Krishna consciousness, for sure. But I don't think Prabhupada ever said that. Actually, I know Prabhupada never said that. But it's a good idea. Start with what you're comfortable with and advance from there. But I mean, in order to actually call yourself in this sampradaya, we must follow what Prabhupada's orders are. And in order to do that, it's 16 rounds. Every day. And if you miss, you make it up the next day. Oh yeah. But you don't want to get in that habit. Because that's okay, I got 2 from Thursday, 1 from Friday, 3, so now I'm up to 37 rounds I have to chant. And and the next thing you know, 3 weeks later, I got 172 rounds behind, and you never make up. So don't get into a habit of doing that.
Thank you.
You're welcome. That's it? Jai, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna.